Hey guys, and welcome to my tip of the month for September. I'm Benny, Customer Success Manager working with our SMBs across APAC here at LinkedIn. If you've missed any of my previous videos, be sure to check them out on my channel. I've done one on implicit hiring, one on skills hiring. That was last month. Today will be a quick one. I plan to go through our saved searches and alerting feature, as well as custom filters for our recruiter searches. Personally, I think this is something that all LinkedIn recruiter users should be using. But I find that surprisingly, only a small portion of my customers are using this regularly. But if you can incorporate, some of these, tips in your day to day and set up some of these alerts and features, I can guarantee that you're going to save a lot of time, especially if your job is to proactively headhunt. So let's hop on to a recruiter search. And just a disclaimer, the profiles you see here today are going to be real people, but we've masked their names and profile pictures for the purposes of this demonstration, and just for their privacy. Okay, let's say we're looking for a cloud architect, or a cloud engineer. When we search for these job titles, these are going to include multiple job titles that fall under these two categories. For current and past here in Australia. And let's say we're looking specifically for cloud architects with a bit of an Azure background. So that's Microsoft Cloud. And also we want them to have maybe a little bit of history in security. So we're going to use a keyword search for Azure and security. We're going to leave it at that for now. So maybe this is the type of candidate that you're regularly searching for. So what you should do is on the top left, you'll notice a save search button. So let's do that. Let's save this search. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and actually go more likely to respond. That's a nice spotlight to have. We'll narrow the results down to about 371. So pretty targeted. And we're going to go save search. And we're going to give it a search name, cloud architect / engineer. Let's say open to work. And let's say in Australia. Let's do this. Azure security. All right. And remember to always save this to a existing project. And some advice that I'd give you is to always be running searches off projects as a sort of a best practice. So go ahead and make sure that the alerts are toggled on, and we'll save that there. So to access the save search, you just go under the save searches Dropbox and view all and manage alerts if you'd like to edit that or remove that. So what this means is having this alert on will mean that you'll be immediately notified the day after someone has updated their profile in such way that they will now appear in this pool of candidates in your search. Another really awesome search alert that I'd recommend is, let's say you hire for cloud engineers and cloud architects quite frequently. So I'm going to remove this keyword here. Something that I would definitely recommend is go into advanced search, and we've got some pretty cool filters here. One of them is they've recently joined LinkedIn. Okay, so it would appear here if you haven't used it. If you have used it and use it regularly, it will appear down here. So recently joined LinkedIn. We've got a couple of options. 1 day ago, 2 to 7 days, 8 to 14 days. So I'm going to include people who've joined LinkedIn up to 2 weeks ago. Okay, and the reason why is, why do people join LinkedIn? Our data shows us that this is very often because they're looking for their next play. Maybe they've seen some jobs advertised on LinkedIn and they've gone ahead and created a profile for that reason, maybe to apply, maybe to, connect with people, see what's out there. And more often than likely, these profiles are, people who are more open to work. So by creating a saved search or an alert based on people who've recently created a profile, this can mean you're going to be tapping into this talent before most other recruiters have. Let's go ahead and save that, give it a saved search name, new profiles, and make sure that you've toggled alerts on so that the day after people fall into, the search, you're going to be alerted and you're going to have an email, ready to go, targeted towards these people who've just joined LinkedIn. All right. So that's a good one. All right. So let's go back to our original search. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this. So again, this is a search that I'm assuming maybe you do regularly. Have a look at the search breakdown. I always recommend understanding the type of talent pool that you're looking at. And maybe you want to understand or, understand where this talent is coming from. Maybe you're regularly headhunting from these companies. Something that you maybe do sometimes in your recruiter search is you actually search for these companies in particular explicitly. So what you could actually do is grab a screenshot of that, clear all. So start from a blank search. And let's just create a custom filter for these companies. It's got AWS, Microsoft, Oracle, maybe it's going to take a while. We're almost there. So these are very popular companies that, I guess, have a lot of cloud architects and engineers working within them. Maybe it's a product that they do, maybe they're a consultancy. So we've got these 10 companies there. And what you could do is then you could save this as a filter. So under the custom filters dropdown, you can press this button, save new custom filter. Give it a name. Let's just call this top 10 cloud architects and engineer companies. And that way, next time you start a search, you can simply come down here and select that filter. So if I clear all, select that filter, that's going to automatically populate the filter that I previously had for companies. All right. So having this here will definitely improve your productivity or any of the tips that I've given here today. And hopefully that'll make your recruiting experience much more efficient. So that's all from me, folks. I hope you enjoyed that session. Drop a comment below if you have any questions, and I will see you next time.